vital. Then you are allowed to hit back. Okay? If you remember, we saw that film Gandhi, in which the Satyagrahis are being beaten by lathis, and they are submitting weakly to it. This is not the Gita's view at all. You have to be calm within, but you have to defend yourself. You have to defend yourself, and if necessary, even aggressively, you have to take action. That's why he says there should be oneness in the soul, there should be a heart, there should be calmness, love and sympathy in the heart, but the hands must be free to work out whatever is necessary in the world. That's what he's saying. Okay? So, the oneness means in everything you are passive. No, that's not it. You are passive in the incoming, but not in the outgoing action. Outgoing action should be not passive, it can be active, but with a calm, quiet attitude within. The consciousness is absolutely calm and quiet. So now we come to the last one. Oneness with God. Okay? So, Tarika has come. Okay. Tarika, have you got the text with you?
Yeah, I've got oneness with God from there, no?
Yes, oneness with God. We'll read that. Yeah. No, we read the previous para just for the continuity. Now you can read oneness with God.
Okay. Okay, Ranga.
Go ahead.
Oneness with God, oneness with all beings, the realization of the eternal divine unity everywhere, and the drawing onwards of men towards that oneness are the law of life which arises from the teachings of the Gita. There can be none greater, wider, more profound. Liberated oneself to live in this oneness, to help mankind on the path that leads towards it, and meanwhile to do all works for God and help man also to do with joy and acceptance all the works to which he is called. Kritna karma krit sarva karmani joshayam. No greater or more liberal rule of divine works can be given. This freedom and this oneness are the secret goal of our human nature and the ultimate will in the existence of the race. It is that to which it must turn for the happiness all mankind is now vainly seeking, when once men lift their eyes and their hearts to see the divine in them and around, in all and everywhere, sarvesu sarvatra, and learn that it is in him they live, while this lower nature of division is only a prison wall which they must break down, or at best an infant school which they must outgrow, so that they may become adult in nature and free in spirit. To be made oneself with God above and God in man, and God in the world is the sense of liberation and the secret of perfection.
We'll start with the last one. To be made one self with God. Okay? Above, so one self with God, union, transcendent. And God in man, that's an individual. And God in the world, that's a cosmic. So your consciousness must be transcendent in the divine, without anything to do with the physical world or anybody. That also should be there. And also you should have the cosmic consciousness. That means you feel one with everybody. Everybody is in you and you are in everybody. That is the cosmic consciousness. And finally, the individual consciousness. You must feel the divine within yourself. So you see the divine within yourself, in the cosmos everywhere, and also outside the cosmos. That is the Gita's answer and those insistence on that. Now there are a few words here and there. We'll have a look at what they're saying. I'm beginning from the beginning. Oneness with God. Oneness with God is unity. Okay? There are philosophies which say that you cannot become one with God. Duality, Vishishtadvaita, and also Dvaita. They say you can't be one with God. You can have relation with God. So, Gita is saying oneness with God, oneness with all beings. So, oneness with God is transcendent. Oneness with all beings is the cosmic consciousness. Okay? The realization of the eternal divine unity everywhere, And the drawing onwards of men towards that oneness are the law of life which arises from the teaching of the Gita. So you must help everybody to go towards God. So the Gita does not... Yes, tell me.
The one which says that you cannot be one is which one?
Which one?
The one which says that you cannot be one, no union with the divine.
Oh, acha. Yeah. Dvaita philosophy. Nimbarkar and Madhvacharya, they say you cannot be one with God. You can have relation with God. Mm-hmm. You can love the divine. Even the Christianity says that. Christianity says that.
Is this Madhvacharya's philosophy, is not it similar to that of the Vaishnavism?
Sima, I didn't understand exactly what you said. Can you repeat slowly?
Is there what I think? Is there any similarity between the Madhvacharya's Dvaita dualism, dualistic philosophy, dualism, and Vaishnavism?
No. Vaishnavism insists on the love aspect. But I don't know if they insist that you cannot be one with God. That I don't know. I don't think so, because the saint, who started the Vaishnavism movement, what's his name? I forget. In Bengal. Name.
Chaitanya.
Yeah. Chaitanya. So see, he used to become, he was, Srila calls him a semi-avatar, partial avatar. So he used to become God. So Vaishnavism cannot be a Madhvacharya philosophy. It cannot be. Because Chaitanya used to sometimes behave like the Lord himself. He used to bless people, he used to give boons. So this sort of, and other times he was like a devotee. So he used to experience both. That's why Sri Prabhupada calls him a partial avatar. An avatar is one who feels himself one with the divine. Like Christ said, I and my Father are one. So that is unity. But even Ramanuja's philosophy, which is Vishishta Advaita, you can be one with the divine, but you can also have relations with the divine. Okay?
But you said that Christianity doesn't believe in getting one with God.
No, you can't. That is blasphemy.
Then how Christ said that, oh, I and my Father, not... okay, sorry.
Christ was not a Christian. Christ had nothing to do with Christianity. 200 years after Christ died, Christianity started. 200 years after Christ.
Yeah.
And that is the philosophy. All philosophies start from somebody who has experienced the divine, and then it is misinterpreted. That is the whole problem. So, only Hinduism.
Hello?
Yes.
You know, I have been to Israel and Bethlehem, and above the cave of nativity, it was the Queen of Syria who first started a church with Christ on the cross. And then next to the Syrian church is the Greek Orthodox, and then next to that is the Roman Catholic. So the first church was started by the Queen of Syria.
Acha. Yeah. And at one time, the Christian center was Rome. Later on, it shifted to Constantinople, what is modern Istanbul. So at that time, they changed many of the tenets of Christianity. For instance, rebirth. Okay, rebirth was they believed in it, but when it went 200 years afterwards to Constantinople, they rejected rebirth. So today, or even today, Christianity does not believe in rebirth. Only one life. Only one life for the soul. The divine is creating the soul and then judges at the end what that soul is and sends him either to heaven or to hell. So illogical. Because divine himself has created the soul. And if the divine has created the soul, how can it do sin? And then you are insisting that I have created you and you are sinning, so you go to hell. This is the illogic part. There are so many things which are not logical in Christianity. And recently the Pope, the present Pope, said these things. And he has upset many people in the Christian world. He believes in many things which are not Christian. But he's very careful with his words. Anyway, let's come back to our text.
But Rangada,
Yes.
in Hinduism also we believe in karma, no? We bear the fruits of our karma. Right?
The
It's the
karma?
same thing, no?
No, it's not the same thing at all.
If you sin, you have a bad life. If you do good, you have a good life. That is almost similarity, in that way.
That is absolutely a
Rangada,
misinterpretation. Yes.
Rangada, that is exactly what it is. That even in Hinduism, there are so many misinterpretations.
Yeah.
So I think what starts from the seer, by the time it goes, like as days, years pass by, it is misinterpreted. In fact, if we really see, even Sri Aurobindo hasn't left us even more than a century. But there are so many things which are misinterpreted. So I think that misinterpretation is bringing down the seer to where we are, which we all do. And so over the years, over the centuries, all the religions have become as it is today. What Pallavi is saying is true. In fact, we do believe in Swarg, Nark, and in fact, there is a Garud Puran which is read after the death of people. I don't know whether it's done in the south, but it is north. It is very much done on the 13th day. And in that Garud Puran, Rangada, you really, when you hear it, and ordinary people who believe it, it is like, if you have led a bad life, you will be put in big, what is that called? Kadhai, and you will be fried in oil, and you will be put in fire. All that is there in that Puran, and it is read on the 13th day of each and everybody's death. So this misinterpretations are there in our Hindu, whatever Hindu religion is practiced. I'm not talking of the philosophy as we can see through Sri Aurobindo's eyes that the original, what started was different and it was misinterpreted. But this is there even in, I think, Hinduism. Pallavi is very much right.
Yeah. No, the theory of karma is very complicated and it is very subtle. The theory of karma, Sri Aurobindo has given explanation in the essays, Human and Divine. 150 pages, okay? And it is very simple. The simple truth which should not be distorted. Whatever action you do, there is a reaction. Even science believes in this. Okay? To every action, there is a reaction.
Reaction or consequence, Rangada? Reaction or consequence?
Consequence, yeah. The consequence.
Reaction, it will be like that, no?
Sorry. I used the wrong word. Yeah. Consequence. To every action, there's a consequence. And this is a school. You are learning. So it is not a punishment. In Hinduism, law of karma is a school where you are learning. For instance, if a small child puts his hand in fire unknowingly, he is ignorant. So he puts his hand, it gets burnt. Is he being punished? Certainly not. It's a way of learning. When you are in ignorance, you have to learn. And you learn by mistakes. If you don't make a mistake, you can't learn. Very simple. So karma is the place where you learn by making mistakes. It's not a punishment. It's actually something positive. And also another thing, the soul, when it is identified with body, mind, life, it has to suffer. But the moment it is free of body-mind life, the body-mind life will go on with its karma, but not the soul. The soul is free. Okay? This you have to understand very, very clearly. Suppose one of you is enjoying something. I'll make it positive. Is enjoying. Okay? Am I enjoying that? No, because I am not identified with you. But if I am identified with you, I will enjoy your enjoyment and I will also suffer your suffering. So identification is very important. So when the soul is identified with the body-mind life, it has to undergo the karma, the law of karma of the body-mind life. But the moment it becomes free, the body-mind life continues with its karma. There is no escape for the body-mind life. But the soul is free. That is where karma ends. What is meant by liberation is exactly that. You are liberated from your past karma. Okay? And it's a very complicated thing. There's a karma for the individual, there's a karma for the collectivity, there's a collective karma for the nation also. Okay? Now look at all the European nations, what they did. Huh? They colonized and created all sorts of things which they did. Now they are having to undergo the consequences of all their actions. Look at what happened in Britain. They came and became lords in India, and now what's happening? An Indian has become prime minister there. Okay. It's a part of the karma. Okay. The same thing will happen in all the countries where they have done this. This will happen. It's already, the Muslims are going on entering into Europe in a very big way. I'm going a little away from the subject. But what is happening in Europe now is karma. Okay? They'll have to undergo the consequences of all their wrong actions. So anyway, so there's karma is not the theory of the Christianity. Certainly not. It's quite different. It's something positive. The karma is positive. It's not negative. When you suffer something, it is to teach you that you are not on the right track. So it teaches you to go to the right track. It's also connected with what Swindler said in the synthesis. Error and truth go hand in hand. Okay? If you make an error, you come to know that it's not the truth. So it's actually a help. Error is a help. That doesn't mean to say that you have to go on repeating your error, but with an error you should learn. Very calmly, quietly you should learn, see and learn. Okay? So that is the equality.
But it is also said that if you surrender yourself to the divine, then all your karma gets wiped out.
Even if you don't surrender to the divine. So even if you go to the higher mind, okay, you go to the self, karma stops for you. Karma stops for you.
Oh!
Absolutely. That is liberation. A liberated soul may not surrender to God. There are other paths also. What about Jnana Yoga? Okay? Jnana Yoga is not surrendering to God. They, with their own effort, they are climbing up and they are now outside body-mind life. No karma for the soul.
So what is the best way to go to the higher mind so our karma gets wiped out?
There are so many ways. All the yogas will teach you which gives knowledge for their aim. But if you don't keep knowledge for your aim, you won't go to the higher mind, you will go to the psychic. If you want love for the divine, you may not reach the higher mind, you may not get knowledge, but you will have love for the divine, intimacy with the divine, relations with the divine. And even there, I can love the divine without surrendering to him. These are all very subtle things. Surrendering means telling the divine, do what you want with me. But a person who is having a love for the divine and an intimacy with the divine may enjoy that relationship. But he may not have surrendered to the divine. Surrender is not automatic. Okay, so quite a...
Yeah, too many permutations and combinations.
That's right. Why? Because the divine is infinite. He is not only one tracked. You can approach the divine through any gate. As Srivastava says in the synthesis, it can be a very lordly palace gate, okay? Or it can be a very humble wicket gate, okay? One which is like a garden, we make it a bamboo gate, that also. Ramakrishna has spoken about the entering the divine through the back door. The tantrics do that, okay? He has said that it's not a clean way. It's better to avoid that. There are so many ways of entering the divine, divine palace.
Ravana also did the same thing, no? Instead of living so many lives, I want to find divine in 3 lives. So I want to reach God in 3 lives instead. So he took that Rakshasa Swarup, no?
I didn't follow exactly what you said, Tarika. Say that again.
No, Ravana also, he did that, no? He wanted to reach the divine in 3 lives instead of going through so many lives. So he took the back door or the bad path or whatever you say. But
yeah. That's a way of saying that you can enter into the divine in every way. And Srivastava says, better not take the enemy path.
Better not take the enemy path.
Yeah, he took the path of enmity with the divine and got liberation. But Srivastava says, don't do that. Don't get enemy to God. Okay, so it's 20, we got about 12 minutes more. So we can do one thing. We can either read the first one or we will discuss very briefly what is the determinism of nature. Okay, that's the next chapter we have to do. But what exactly is meant by determinism? Okay. Now that is also connected very much with karma.
Ragada, we can go through this, no?
Okay, we'll do that. Karma we'll discuss. Determinism of nature we'll discuss next time. So, I go to the next sentence here. There can be none greater, wider, more profound. So, what is there? 2, 3 things he's saying. Oneness with God. You become one with God. Oneness with all beings. I feel myself to be one with everybody. Everybody's experience, I am also experiencing. If you are happy, I feel happy. If you are feeling sad, I also feel sad. Okay? Cosmic consciousness has got 3 levels. Okay? The first level is, I feel one with everybody, so whatever their condition, I also have to undergo that. Okay? So suppose you are happy, I also feel happy. If you are unhappy, I also feel unhappy. So this is also what happened to mother once. I am mentioning mother because precisely you will understand the law of cosmic consciousness. There was a lady, a Swiss lady, who came and taught us many things, calisthenics particularly, with children, with ladies. With that ladies group, she taught some drills. And one day she was in Gorkon and she was vomiting. Okay. But mother was in playground and mother also vomited. Okay. Because she was identified temporarily with that person. This is a very interesting thing. So when or also the other famous example of the animal being beaten and whipped, and the whip marks appear on the back of the yogi who was identified with the animal. So you suffer and also you feel happy. You suffer with the deer which is being killed by the tiger and you also enjoy the exhilaration of the tiger. This is number 1 in the cosmic consciousness. In the second level, you feel the pain of others, but you are not affected. Your equality has become absolutely perfect. You are not. But you have full sympathy, but you are not affected. This is the second one. And the third one, when you rise to a level of consciousness which is cosmic, you can also cure the suffering of others. So these are the 3 levels of the cosmic consciousness. Oneness with all beings. The realization of the eternal divine unity everywhere. Okay? Everywhere you see the divine. This is what is called pantheism. You see the divine in nature. But the theory of pantheism, nature itself is God. There is no transcendent and there is no individual. Okay? So pantheism is also only one aspect of God. You see the divine in nature. So that's the other one. But the realization of the eternal divine unity everywhere and drawing onwards of men towards that oneness are the law of life which arises from the teachings of the Gita. The Gita says you must have all the three and help everybody. Don't neglect the materialist. Help him to go to the next level. In the last chapter of the essay on the Gita, Srila has covered all this. If you are a materialist, help him to become a religious man. Okay, put a dharma on him. And if you are a religious man, help him to realize the divine. Because religion does not always give you the divine. So if he is religious already, help him to have experience of the divine. And if you are a yogi and you have already experienced the divine, help him to become an instrument of the divine and work in the physical world for God's work. So this is the Gita's last chapter of the essays. Srila says this. This is what the Gita says. Gita does not reject anybody. Okay? So, materialist must be helped. The religious man must be helped. The yogi must also be helped to go to the next level. And what is that level? Do God's work in the physical world. So this is the basic thing in the last chapter. It's quite a big chapter. This is what he says. That's why the Gita is so widely spiritual. Tremendous wideness. No rejection of anything at all. Okay? So, then the next one. Liberated oneself, you are free. You have gone to the higher mind. To live in this oneness. To help mankind on the path. There you are. There is Loka Sangraham. Okay? You have to, when you feel one with everybody, you will naturally work for the good of everybody because you are working for the good of yourself. Okay? There can be none greater, none wider. Liberated oneself to live in this oneness, to help mankind on the path that leads towards it, and meanwhile to do all works for God and help man also to do with joy and acceptance all the works to which he is called. Krishna Karmakrit. Karmakrit, the one who is acting. Krishna means whole. No action is denied in spirituality. You can do anything. Okay? That's right. Acharya has put up a note. Like divine? Yes. Okay. So, then, Sarva Karmani Joshayan. Okay? You can engage yourself in any action and still be a yogi or do yoga. No action is denied to you. This freedom and this oneness are the secret goal of our human nature and the ultimate will in the existence of the race. Ultimate will in the existence of the race, the evolution that is taking place in human beings as well as in nature. There is an evolution that is going towards God. That's what he's saying. Okay? Ultimate will is the traveling towards the divine universally as well as individually. It is that to which it must turn for the happiness all mankind is now vainly seeking. When once men lift their eyes and their hearts to see the divine in them and around and in all and everywhere, to see the divine in themselves, that is the individual. You see the divine within yourself and around. That's the cosmic consciousness in the universe. And in all and everywhere. Sarveshu sarvatra. Sarveshu in everybody. Sarvatra everywhere. And learn that it is in him they live. This is the Gita and Srila Guru insisting on this. You must live in God. You must not live in the ego, but you must live in God. Okay. and learn it is in him they live. While this lower nature of division is only a prison wall which they must break down, or at least an infant school which they must outgrow. So there you are. See, when you are identified with your body, mind, life, it's a infant school. You make mistakes and you learn how to get out of the prison of your body, mind, life. At best, an infant school. Or you must, if you can't break down the body, mind, life, then you learn infant school, which they must outgrow, so that they become adult in nature. Ranga often uses this. The soul also can be an ignorant, simplistic child, and it can be an adolescent, and it can also be an adult soul. In synthesis, he has used these three terms: the child soul, the adolescent soul, and the adult soul. So, to be made one self with God above, and God in man and God in the world. So, very clearly, God above is the transcendent. You have nothing to do with the universe at that time. You are identified fully with the divine. Only the divine. When the divine is looking only inwards. Okay, there is no outgoing action. That's the transcendent. Then, that is above. And God in man, individual, and God in the world, the cosmic consciousness, universal consciousness. So you have the transcendent, the cosmic, and the individual. And this is what the Gita wants, and this is also what Ranga is insisting in his yoga. The other yogas don't insist. You can have the divine experience transcendently, or you can see the divine in the universe, or you can see the divine in yourself. All are exclusive and wonderful experiences, but they don't necessarily come together. The Gita wants them to come together, and Ranga also wants to come together. That's why Purna Yoga. Integral yoga. Okay? So, let me stop here today, and next time we'll discuss this. First of all, what is meant by determinism of nature. It's very much related to karma also, and what you do and how. Okay? And what does the word exactly determinism mean? It means no free will. To be determined means you have made up your mind exclusively to do something. So there's a rigidity in it. So there's no freedom. Determinism of nature. Which is your nature? Your body, mind, life. When you are imprisoned in your body, mind, life, there is no freedom for you. Everything nature is dictating terms to you. And that's the reason why when you escape from your body, mind, life and go up, you realize that you are not the doer. Everything nature was doing through you. Nature was using you like a puppet. Okay? Thoughts are put into your mind and you think that you are thinking. Emotions are put into your heart from outside and you think that you are having emotions. You are acting. Actions also are suggested to you from outside. Okay? And it's a very interesting thing. Scientifically also they have seen something very interesting. Okay? So, it's 8:40. Just 2 minutes I'll take and tell you about the scientific part of it. When you put an electrode into the brain and you see when activity is there, there's a sparking in parts of the brain. Okay? So, they have seen something very interesting. Suppose you think that I am going to go to knowledge today. Okay? When this thought comes in your mind, you go and do that. You have decided that you are doing it yourself by your own will. But actually they have seen something very interesting. This sparking in the brain that initiates this action of wanting, I will go to knowledge, okay, happens milliseconds before the thought comes into your mind. In other words, it means that your brain itself is suggesting that you do this. And if the brain is suggesting, then you are not free. You are obeying your brain, you are obeying your body. Scientifically, they have seen this. But the time lag is very, very short. Some milliseconds. Not half a second, not 1/10 of a second, but a millisecond. So there is no freedom at all in your thinking, no freedom at all in your emotions, no freedom at all in your actions. That is the determinism of nature. And when you escape from body-mind life, there is no more determination for you. You are free. Okay? So, it's a very interesting chapter and we'll take it up next time. The determinism of nature. Okay. I said 2 minutes, I have taken 2 minutes. 8:42. So, bye everybody. Have a nice day.
Au revoir, Ranga. Bonne journée. Merci beaucoup.
Same to everybody.
Over for everybody.
Okay.